Hey guys. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about kind of what I'm going to do with my YouTube channel. I'm not going to really edit things. I'm probably going to do a lot of live videos, a lot of shorts and stuff. But if you haven't noticed from my previous posts that I'm a competitive bodybuilder. I've been involved in fitness since 2011, so 10 years. I started my journey in the 300 pounds. I've always been obese. I guess I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. And then I went on a journey to lose weight. I always struggled with my weight, really, and it didn't really stick until 2012. I lost 110 pounds officially. I say officially because I had not weighed myself for a long time and lost weight. And then when I officially did my official weigh-in, which was March 1st, 2012, I was 293 pounds. And then I got all the way down to 183 pounds. And I'm going to put up a video, I think, one of these days of like a compilation of me being all fat and then like my journey and then my competitions and stuff. But yeah, I got down to 183. I hated my body. I didn't really become self-conscious about my body until then. Then I went on like a bulk, got all the way back up to 260 pounds. And then I hired a bodybuilding coach, like a bunch of stuff happened. But I ended up doing my first competition in 2014. And I won by default. I was the only competitor in my division, so that's why I won by default. That sent me to nationals, and I got dead last in nationals, 5th place, 5 out of 5. Life got crazy, which I'll probably talk about more in depth in later videos. Life got crazy. I gained all of the weight back, and had a whole bunch of crazy shit happen over the next 5 years. And then I decided to take things seriously again back in 2019. From a lot of encouragement. I had a lot of encouragement from my girlfriend at the time. She actually really pushed me to do it. It was pretty amazing of her. And I ended up competing this year again, October 16th, 2021, and it was by far the best shape I've ever been in. I don't have any pictures to show you right now because, like I said, I'm not really going to edit these videos. When I get things kind of set up with my computer and stuff, I think like I said, when I do my compilation videos, you'll see. But you can go back in my history and you'll see my competition. I have my competition uploaded. But a lot of this has to do with like mental health too. Like in the last 8 months, I would say I've kind of turned everything inwards. A lot of things happened that I'm not going to get too specific in right now, but I learned that the anger and the rage that fueled me through my day-to-day just wasn't working. It didn't work anymore. And I got rid of it. And then the self-hate. Like I was working out because I hated myself. I was trying to change my body because I hated it. And it worked until then. But as I started working on my mental health, which is the whole point of my channel now. Like, yeah, I'm going to talk about bodybuilding because it's my passion, but mental health, I think that there's a big stigma around men and mental health. You can go and you can look up the statistics, but it's something like 80% of the suicides every year are men between, I want to say 30 and 40 years old. I could be wrong about that, so forgive me. I should probably have specific statistics up when I give them, but it's some crazy high number. And I personally believe it's because people don't talk about it. You know, I didn't used to talk about my mental state, and I talk about it now to anybody that listens. And I noticed that I have a group of people that come to me now to help them with their mental health problems. I am not a professional, I'm not anything, but I've learned a lot of techniques to help with anxiety, self-love, which is silly, but I think it's one of the most important things. Mindfulness, living in the present, not living in hatred anymore. Like, gratitude is such a big thing. Like, I used to sit and worry about what I didn't have, what I needed to earn, what I needed to obtain, you know, and I did take responsibility. I think self-responsibility is really important, but like, I focused on the wrong shit. I focused on what I didn't have. I focused on what I was worried about. I focused on the what ifs. I focused on my fear. And now I live every single day in a state of thankfulness. I'm even thankful for the bad things. The bad things that have happened prepare me to appreciate the good things, to help me handle difficult things. And when I really learned that, everything changed. I shifted from self-hate to self-love, and my body responded. It was amazing. My body responded, and I can see that in like progress photos, because I take progress photos of myself. And it was just an amazing shift, just the mental aspect behind it. And one of the biggest things, which is going to be a highlight of this video, and really the main point of why I decided to hit record and I just kind of decided to start talking about myself a little bit, is meditation. Meditating, I meditate every day, twice a day, and it completely changed my life. Like, it gave me the foundation and the skill set and the capability to do all of the other things that I've had to do to work on my mental health. But, you know, MRIs of your brain have... I'm sorry, I'm outside and I'm not going to edit this, so this is going to be on my channel with all the barking and all the noise. And I really like this background because it's a beautiful, beautiful sunset, and it's really nice outside right now, so I'm enjoying it. But meditation and MRIs, it was a university, I forget what university it was, but they've been studying mindfulness and stuff for a while now, and MRIs have shown that your prefrontal cortex it will become denser with consistent meditation over about a year, or even less than that. And most people that meditate consistently do have, I would say, a delay between emotions and responding. So one of the worst things human beings do is they emotionally react. They'll have an emotion and they'll react. They'll be upset and they react. And we're intelligent, so we can sit and focus on that problem, and it keeps us feeling the emotion. Chronic anxiety disorder is probably mainly because of that. You know, like, you're just going to harp on that thing that gives you anxiety. But if you meditate long enough, you can learn, and I'm speaking from my own experiences, to feel something and it not affect you. You learn that there's a separation between your emotion and everything else. You are the being that is experiencing the emotion. You are not the emotion. You're the being that is experiencing your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. It's a cliche thing, and it's something, no, it's not cliche in the aspect that it's like cliche, but like, you hear it among the circles of meditation, mental health, and all this esoteric stuff. Um, but a lot of people, I would say the number one thing that I get with the people that I try to guide is I can't meditate, so I don't. Or I tried meditating and it didn't work, so I stopped. Well, that's why it didn't work, because you stopped. It's a practice. You can't just do it and know that you're doing it. You have to learn. It takes time, just like weight loss takes time, just like weight gain takes time. And then people say, well, I just can't not think. It's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to observe. So imagine you're sitting at a park bench and you're watching people go by, right? You're just looking left and looking right. You're watching this person go that way. You're watching that person go this way. There's no judgment, because you're not there to judge. You're just people watching, which, if you've ever people watched, is actually kind of peaceful. And you turn and you look and you turn and you look, and people just pass you by. And it's the same thing with your thoughts. As a thought comes up, you can let it go. And as another thought comes up, you can let it go. And it just goes and it just goes. But if you were to get up and follow one of these people down the path, then you're stuck with that person. You're not observing everything else. You're stuck with that one thing. Or if you're sitting on your phone on that park bench, you're distracted. You don't know what's going on around you because you're on your phone and you can't observe. Or because you're reading, or because of this, or because of that. Not that reading's a bad thing, but reading will still distract you. That's why when I lived at the Buddhist temple, there was reading time. There was an assigned time to read. And it was a no talking temple. So we had to sit and contemplate, internal contemplation. But as you're sitting and you're watching, you can't think two things at the same time. Just like you can't focus on two people at the same time. You could focus on like that person or that person, but you can't really focus on two at the same time because they're not occupying the same space. But just like if you're looking at one thing and then turning your head to look at the other thing, your mind will go from one thought to the other thought to the other thought. You can't think of two things at the same time, right? So when you sit down to meditate, there's different kinds of meditations. I'm talking about what they call sitting right now, which is just self-observing your thoughts. We'll get into other forms of meditation later, like guided meditation and visualization and stuff. I have a hard time saying that word, so don't judge me. You'll learn not to judge your thoughts because it'll make you stick with the thought. You can't judge, you gotta watch. And then you can let that thought go, and immediately when you let that thought go, the next one will go, or will occupy that space. And I've had people tell me, well, when I sit down to quiet my mind thinks of everything. It's like all of my browser tabs are open at once. Okay, that's fine. You can't sort through your thoughts, and you can't observe your thoughts if you're not thinking. So just because you're having more thoughts doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that you're going down the wrong path with meditating. You need to observe it, and you can't observe it if you don't think it, right? So be patient with yourself. But understand that as you do this, when you go from one thought to the other thought, even if you're going through your day and you're freaking out about things, there's a space in between the thoughts. You may not be able to perceive that space right now because the thoughts are coming so quickly and it's so rapid that you can't pick up what's coming in between, but there is a space. I promise you there's a space in between your thoughts. And as you practice this, switching from one thought to the other thought without judgment, just observing and letting it go, just observing and letting it go. That's a thought. Okay, I'm thinking about my shoes. I'm thinking about my bills. I'm thinking about my car. I'm thinking about going to the gym. Oh, what am I going to do at the gym? No, I need to let it go. Let's think about breathing. I'm breathing. Okay, I'm taking a breath in. I'm taking a breath out. That's a thought, right? So as you're thinking things, that space is there. And the better you get at this, the more you can observe without judging, the wider that space becomes. So you'll be able to perceive it. But the second you perceive it, if you go, oh, there's that space, well, you just thought. So you ruined it. Think without judging. Observe without judging. Have a thought, let it go. And over time, that space in between will be palpable. It will be greater, and it will grow, and it will be better, to where eventually, over years of practice, you can just sit and you're in the space in between. And you can take that into life and realize that it is the moments in between that you live. It's the moments in between things where everything's fine and you can observe it. And then when somebody rattles you or tries to rattle you or has an emotional response or says something that you don't like or something happens that doesn't go your way, you won't have a reaction. It won't affect you. You can look at it because you're now more solid and stable within yourself, that your brain isn't gonna, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just gonna accept it, and then you can sit with it for a second. You can feel the emotion that comes along with it and let go of that emotion. And then you can sit and deal with the problem and have a proper response to it. And then it builds a foundation of all of these other things that you can fix. You can start asking yourself hard questions. You can start looking at your core values and your core wounds and your core beliefs and your negative core beliefs. And you can go back and you can look at the beginning of all of the things of your subconscious, which is your inner child. It's what you were taught growing up, either from your family or your environment or social situations or social standards or school or books. You're taught things. Every behavior that you have today, every belief, every thought, every word that you know, everything about you, you were taught. Everything. So you can reteach yourself. But I'm going to end this here now. When I have another thing that I want to talk about or expand upon, I will do another video. I'm probably going to do some videos on workouts and stuff too, all kinds of stuff. But if you guys have any questions, if you want me to expand on anything else, if you want me to do a video on something, go ahead and leave a comment below. Like this video, share this video, whatever you want to do. I don't know what that noise is about, but I gotta go. Catch you guys later.